Okay, welcome everyone. We will go ahead and get started. First, I want to thank you all for joining us today for our Explore the WOW info session. I'm super excited to be talking to you about this program today. We've made a lot of great and exciting changes to it. So I'm hoping you all will enjoy that as well. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time for if you can hear all of the rain that is happening outside behind me. I'm happy it is raining, but unfortunately it happened right at this time. So if you can hear that, I apologize. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first, I want to introduce you to our experiential programs team. My name is Kayla Hamilton. I am the experiential programs coordinator. Also for our team, we have Brianna Hobbs, who is the experiential programs assistant director. On the call with me today, and who will be in and out of that Q&A, we have Amy Howell, who is one of our experiential programs assistants. And we also have Alyssa Ungerman, who is another one of our experiential programs assistants. So if at any time you guys have any questions, you could be talking to any one of us throughout the semester. Specifically on the call today, you will be talking to Amy. So just an overview of what we will cover today. So we will go over the new program and how it will work, what some of our past opportunities were, including companies and how that worked as well, what the eligibility requirements are for participating in the Explore the Wild program, what the timeline of our newest program is, what some of the benefits to the program are, obviously how you can apply for it. And we will have plenty of time for some questions, some Q&A at the end. So if you have questions at any time throughout, go ahead and put them in the Q&A area. If you're not familiar with where that is, there's a photo on the screen. So feel free to share your questions, ask your questions, share your insights, and just remember to keep all of your comments and questions respectful. We will be answering them throughout in the Q&A, but we will have plenty of time at the end as well to get to any of your questions that you may have in there. So if we don't answer it in the middle, we will get to it at the end. Okay, so first, what is our Explore the Wild program? So over the last year or so, it has changed a little bit thanks to complications with COVID, and also thanks to some feedback that we've gotten along the way. So at its core, the Explore the World of Work program provides students with professional experiences in their chosen career fields. Students are matched with different UTD alumni, different employers that we work with, and these are in a variety of careers across all different industries and all different academic disciplines. So everything from our BBS students, our EP students, ECS, IS, everything in between and in the middle, we've provided opportunities for all of them. So ideally, students will apply the skills that they've learned in the classroom in a structured and professional work environment without the long-term commitment of an internship or a full-time job. And that's what we are classifying as an externship. And this has kind of taken on, like I said, many different forms over the past year. So during COVID, during the end of the summer, we did this program on a completely virtual capacity. Now moving into fall, we are turning this into a recurring experience opportunity, offering both in-person and virtual opportunities based on the employer preferences. So our virtual opportunities have looked like and can take many forms, including both externship opportunities where you might be doing small projects with a company, or at its core, just a networking opportunity. And that is primarily done through the use of informational interviews and online presentations. So if you're not familiar with what an informational interview is, an informational interview is just a meeting that is set up to learn more about the real life experience of someone working in a field or company that interests you. So oftentimes this might look like, a small conversation over coffee, a quick lunch. It could be just a phone call. What we've done for our past program is set up informational interviews for our students with different company representatives over either a phone call or more likely a video interview or a video phone call over Teams or Zoom or something like that. The important thing to note about these informational interviews is that they are not a job interview. So it's important that you keep focused on getting information from an informational interview rather than seeking out some sort of job offer. So at its core, the informational interview is really just seeking more information about different opportunities in different industries, kind of getting insight into what it looks like to work a day at a specific company or in a specific position. So when is this program taking place? So like I said, we've changed the program a couple of times throughout the last year. Currently, what our new program is an ongoing program taking place throughout the entire semester. If you've participated in this program before, it probably was a specific week-long event. We've held this traditionally in the spring and this past summer at the end of the summer. We still plan on holding those experiences as well, these week-long experiences. But we also want to offer an opportunity for students who, can't utilize that time over those breaks, or students who may want to be a little bit more flexible, and also for our employers that might need to be a little bit more flexible. So the idea with this program is to open it up to a wider variety of both students and employers. So whereas the week-long programs were one specific week, this semester-long program will look different based on the opportunity. So actual days may vary by the employer, and it can range anywhere from just a one-day opportunity where you're maybe networking, getting to know different people within the company and kind of how it works, to kind of those traditional week-long opportunities where you're meeting multiple people, multiple departments over multiple days. Maybe you have small tasks or projects to work on during that time. And we are introducing a month-long opportunity as well. And as I said, this does vary by the employer. So the employers will be choosing the types of experiences that they are offering. So we will go through each of these opportunities and what it can look like a little bit later in the presentation. So just know that this new program is very flexible to your schedule, to an employer schedule, and to kind of what you want to get out of the experience itself. And unlike in the past, where students could kind of choose out of the list of employers that we currently have, students will now be matched with employers based on your criteria, what you would like to do with your future career, and by the employer and your availability. And we'll talk a little bit about this a little bit later on in the presentation too. But just know that the idea with this program is that we will kind of have a bank of students and a bank of employers that we compare and hand match, so that we're making sure and students are getting the most out of the opportunity that they can, and that it is following a schedule that works for all of the parties involved. So how will this work? So the UCC, us, will match the incoming student applications that we get with our most recent employer bank. So what I mean when I say employer bank is throughout the semester, we will have employers coming on to this program at any time. So what the employers that we have participating today, we may have a few more tomorrow and a few more the next day. So rather than having to update students every day with the new employers we will look at what you would like to do with your future career, what you want to get out of the experience and the availability that we have. And we will match you with the employer that we think best fits what you would like and, fits the structure of the experience that you would like. So when we find a match for the student, we will reach out to the employer for the details on the structure of the experience, and we will send that opportunity to the student. Students can then choose if that is a company or opportunity that they would be interested in. And from there, we will pair you with that company to actually start on your experience. Most likely, no two experiences will look the same between students. Some may be doing more networking, some may be doing more project-based work. It really just depends on the company and the employer, but you will know all of that information going into the experience. So this is what some of our past companies have looked like. We have about 30 that we've participated with in the past year. Obviously, they don't all fit on the slide. These are some of our most current ones and some of our most popular ones as well. So just know some of these employers may be continuing on with us throughout the fall semester and the spring semester. Some of them, if you're interested in them and they aren't participating, then that's something that you would need to let us know. And on that note, our team and I especially are very interested in what employers in particular you all are interested in working with. So I've set up a little bit of a poll here. There's a couple of ways to get to it. So you can use the QR code or on a separate device or on your laptop. You can go to menti.com and type in the code on the screen, and there will be a little question that pops up. Oh, I'll go back to that. There will be a little question that pops up to ask what companies you want to network with or what companies you want to shadow. And we want to know not just companies that I popped up on the last screen, but also any of your kind of dream companies that you've wanted to work with. Is there a company that you have in mind that you think, oh, I really want to work for this company? I've always been interested in what they do, or in this specific job that they do, or in this product that they have. So let us know. Go to the Menti, and I'll pull it up on here so we can kind of see the answers roll in together. And we can see, kind of where everyone is. And I can use this information later on to reach out to employers that maybe we've never thought of before, or we can work with the different employers that you put in. So we have a lot of Amazon, Texas Instruments, something for mechanical engineering. These are great answers. Facebook, Google, Pixar, definitely. So looks like tech is pretty popular as usual. Awesome. And so this feedback will really help us, Microsoft. This feedback will really help us when we prepare for this program going throughout the semester, going into next semester, and when we are reaching out to different employers to partake in this. This type of information really helps us to understand, what experiences our students want, what types of jobs you guys are interested in, and what companies we need to be networking with. So this is really great. And I'll leave this up for the entirety of the presentation. Feel free to come back to it anytime. You can submit, I think, up to 3 different times. So if a company comes to you, that's great. We'll go back to that. But it looks like Amazon, Microsoft, T-Mobile, Facebook, you guys are really into tech, and so am I. So that's really awesome. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay. Like I said, we'll come back to this in a little bit. Feel free to keep putting in those answers. This is really great feedback for us to have moving forward when we put on this program now and when we are doing this program in the future. So hopefully we're able to make some connections with some of those companies that you guys are putting in to connect you with those for this opportunity or for future opportunities. So now some of the nitty-gritty information that you guys are probably interested in. So our participation eligibility. We don't have super strict requirements, and a lot of these are based on what companies and employers that we have worked with in the past, what they're kind of looking for in students for this particular type of opportunity. So you must be a currently enrolled UTD undergraduate or graduate student and have earned at least 30 credit hours. So this should put you at about a sophomore standing. The 30 credit hours don't have to be at UT Dallas. So if you are a transfer sophomore student or something like that who had credits before, the only reason we put this stipulation on there is to make sure that we are getting sophomore students and above for this opportunity. If you're a freshman and you're in here now and you're really interested in this, stay and we can talk about some other opportunities that are great for you as well. And this, like I said, this particular program happens on a semesterly basis. So there will be a time that you come into the right time for this program for you. Then you will complete an online application process and upload a current resume. We will go through what that online application process looks like towards the end of this presentation. And I will set you guys up with some great resources for updating your resumes as well. We will record a mandatory orientation session that if you are selected for the program, you will be sent this to watch before you partake in any sort of experience. And then for the last two, you must be available for the entirety of the experience that you were selected for. So whether that's a one-day opportunity, a week-long opportunity, or even a month-long opportunity, whatever commitment that you've made to whichever company that you get paired with, then you do have to fulfill the entirety of that commitment to them. And lastly, on this note, you must initiate and continue contact with the sponsor prior to the experience. We mainly put this in here just to let you know that, the Career Center will help, start and instigate this entire process, but it will really be on the students to take the opportunity and make it their own and work with the sponsor to get what they want out of it, rather than the Career Center kind of being the go-between throughout the entire process. The very last requirement, which really isn't a hard requirement, is to have an overall GPA of 2.5. We put this on here as a recommended requirement because, like I said, many of the different companies and the employers that we work with, this is what they have kind of expected from our students in order for them to feel like they're getting the most out of the experience. So students that fall in this 2.5 GPA are probably, doing well enough in the courses, especially if they're like tech-related courses, to kind of help out on a more day-to-day basis within these different opportunities. But it is not a hard requirement. Some companies do not have any sort of restrictions when it comes to GPA. So you just might have a better chance of getting with some of the more highly sought after companies if you do fall in that range. So that is why we put that on there. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go through all of these itinerary options. So we will go through what a one-day experience will look like, a one-week experience will look like, and a one-month experience could look like. And some of these we've put in here as they could be in person or virtual, either one. So for the one-day option here, like I said, the one-day option could be in person or virtual throughout all of the different activities. So what this typically looks like, it would take place maybe over a couple of hours, and there would be ideally some sort of facility tour involved. And if it's not at the location of the employer, it can be a virtual tour. A lot of companies have gotten really good at putting on these types of presentations to show what a day in the life at their company can look like virtually over the internet through a PowerPoint presentation or a video. But also for any of those companies that are back to working in the office or are not seeing those same effects from the pandemic, then these opportunities could be in person as well. Ideally, after that facility tour, there would be introductions and a presentation overview of the company. So students might meet with a couple of different people, employees from that company that work in different departments, and see kind of how those individual people work with the company and get an overall presentation overview. So, what is the mission and vision of that company, their major products, their major clients, things of that nature. And then depending on if it's either in person or virtual, you would have meetings or informational interviews with different departments and different employees from those departments. So the ideal with a one day is that you do still get to interact with many different people throughout the company that hold different types of positions, whether they're client facing, whether it's more of an HR position, executive position, and kind of everywhere in between. And then lastly, you would have plenty of time to ask your questions and get some answers from the different people that you have networked with. So that would be a really quick, like I said, couple hour, one day opportunity where maybe you're talking to each individual person for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then there is a little bit of time to do that type of presentation overview of the company as well. So this would be basically the minimum of any experience a student would have on this program. Going kind of up a step into our week-long, I've separated these into what a week-long in-person opportunity looks like and what a week-long virtual opportunity can look like. So these week-long in-person ones are traditionally what this program has been. We would hold it over spring break, and students would basically go to whichever companies they were paired with for an entire week, every single day, or a couple of days out of that week, and actually experience life in the company. So ideally, day one would begin with some sort of orientation with a specific overview of what the week's activities look like, a facility tour like we talked about in the first one, and then some introductions of the different people and departments, and a presentation or an overview of that company. The rest of the days, like 2 through 4, ideally the students would be doing much more of the shadowing, sitting in on company meetings, shadowing different departments and different people from those departments, and even working on small tasks or projects throughout the week alongside the employees of that company. And then day 5, if this is a full week or whatever the last day is, there should be some sort of a final Q&A or a debrief with the student where you would meet with, kind of your main contact to get all of that last minute information or questions that you had. This is normally where an employer would kind of talk about different opportunities that the company provides and maybe, help you out answering questions if you want to apply to any opportunities, or if you have any other contacts or anything like that that you would like to make in the future. This is kind of when those types of questions would come up. And then with our week-long virtual experience, it looks pretty much the same. It's just every element of the in-person has been taken virtual. So day 1, ideally, there would still be some type of an orientation with a specific rundown of what the week's activities or the meetings would look like, and still having that sort of introduction and overview of the company on that first day. The rest of the days would take place probably on shorter intervals. So informational interviews with different employees, you might have a couple one day, or you might have one every day of that week, or just 1 or 2 throughout the week. And these would be like 30 to 45-minute interviews or informational interviews with those people over some sort of virtual platform, whether that be Zoom or Teams or even just a phone call. And then ideally at some point in there, you'll receive also company presentations from the different employees that you're speaking with. And we have suggested to employers that they could include some smaller online projects that you can do again alongside another employee for these week-long opportunities as well. And then again, the final Q&A and debrief should take place on either day 5 of that week or whatever the last day of that opportunity is, giving students an opportunity to ask all of those questions that they have about future opportunities, anything that they noticed throughout the week or questions that they might have had that came up throughout the week, and just kind of doing that overall debrief. So that's what a virtual week-long opportunity could look like. And then this is sort of new for us and for employers, is these month-long opportunities. So we have decided that since this will be a semesterly rolling program, we are giving employers an opportunity to have students up to 5 hours a week for 4 weeks, so 1 month. And a 1-month opportunity would include all of the things that we've kind of talked about so far. So the orientation meeting kind of at the beginning, students meeting or sitting in on meetings throughout the program length, doing some of these informational interviews or sitting down with different employees and kind of talking about them, about their day, and asking them questions about what it's like to work at that company, and including some company presentations. And again, this could be done both in person or virtually. And in person would be an ideal for a month long, but again, most companies probably aren't working in person now. And we don't want students to feel like they have to go into a company if they are not comfortable at any time. And for the month-long opportunities, this is really where we kind of thought students could complete these short-term projects alongside employees, and even be given kind of weekly tasks. So in this type of an opportunity, it would very much look like a very short unpaid internship or an externship, where students could kind of learn for a week or two and then even be given some bigger tasks throughout the rest of their time there, that students that were doing a week long or just a day long, they wouldn't really get that same opportunity because of the length. So again, these are ideals that were given to employers as suggestions for how they can structure their opportunities, but no two opportunities are probably going to look the same. Some people might just meet with, a recruiter and an employee. Some people might meet with 5+ employees over a week. And some people might be given projects to work on that they can really kind of relate back to the skills that they've learned in the classroom. And all of this would be at the direction of the employer, their schedule, and how they want to relay this opportunity to students and how they think it will be most beneficial for these students to kind of help out and learn. So now the timeline for the program. So this is a rolling program. Applications for the program for both students and employers are open right now. So I will go through where you can find this application in just a minute, and how exactly what you'll need to actually apply for the program. So placements with employers will be taking place throughout the entire semester. So if you do apply today and we have an employer already in our bank that might work with you, we could start pairing people as soon as a week or two from now for opportunities based on how ready the employers are and what kind of timeline they are looking at. So just know that if you do fill out an application, we will be taking your time frame into consideration as well, and that question will be on the actual application. But just know that you could be contacted pretty early on after you fill out that application. We don't have specific dates because it does just depend on the employers that we are currently working with for this program. And do know that you will only be contacted if you are actually matched with an employer. And you'll get a notification about this when you actually fill out that application as well. So just know if you don't hear back with us, within a week or two or something like that, it just means that we are still working to match you with a specific employer, or we just want to make sure that we can get you in with an employer that will work for what skills you have, what you want to do in the future, and that works with your timeline. And if that happens, that's great, but it might not happen for every single student. So this will be, like I said, a rolling program. So it could happen very early. It might happen much later in the semester. And we will continue the program into the following semester if you would like to apply for it again at that time if you do not get matched for this semester. But we will try to absolutely match as many students as we can with opportunities that work for them. And then before an actual experience begins, so let's say you've been paired with an employer with the time frame that works for you, and you've accepted that opportunity, then before that actual experience begins, you will have to view our orientation, which we will send out. It will be pre-recorded, and fill out a pre-programmed competency survey. And so this survey is really just, it's for you and it's also for us. So it will ask questions about, how you feel about how ready you are to enter the, workforce that you're interested in, how much you how many skills you think you have that align with the opportunities that you're looking for, how much experience you think you have, if you have enough experience. So you'll fill this out before an experience, and then you'll be filling out basically the exact same survey after the experience so that we can see how this program helped with those kind of core competencies that we look for students to be ready to enter the workforce out of college. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it will be your responsibility to reach out to and maintain contact with an employer after we've made that initial connection. After the experience, and this will kind of take place immediately after an experience ends, each student that completes an experience will meet with a representative from the Career Center, most likely myself, for a short debrief. We will talk about some of the things that you can do after the program to, help your chances in moving on to that next opportunity, how you can use this experience on your resume, and how to leverage this experience in moving forward into your future career and into future opportunities. And more information would get sent out if you're accepted into the program and when we get closer to when that debrief time would be. For those of you that have completed this program before, it will look a lot like our previous debrief seminars that we've had at the end of a week-long program. And then lastly, we do have post-program evaluations. So that will be one for you and one for any employer that you were matched with. And that's just kind of to tell us your thoughts on the program. And those will be due within 2 weeks of the completion of your program. So I know we don't have any specific dates on these things, but that's the nature of a rolling program since it is open the entire time. Any of these things can kind of be happening at the same time throughout this fall semester for this specific program. Okay, and then some benefits of participating in this program. So there are many, many invaluable benefits from participating, everything from gaining some real world career knowledge and experience. So that's, gaining insight into a specific career that you're interested in, maybe working on real world projects alongside employees at a company that you're really interested in. And one of the biggest things is expanding your career network. So one of the things that we really hope all students get to take advantage of within this program is kind of expanding and building that career network, talking with as many different people within a company as possible, as many different recruiters as you can, to really help your future career aspirations if you want to move on into that career after this as well. And to ideally find a lifelong mentor. So we never guarantee mentorship coming out of this experience. However, it is a great side effect that can happen if you mesh really well with a certain employee or your sponsor or somebody that you networked with throughout the process. You could gain a really good lifelong mentor from this specific experience. And that's one thing on our end when we go through kind of that debrief and prep you with that orientation beforehand. We talk about how we can kind of foster some of these relationships and help them grow organically throughout that experience, and how to maintain that relationship after the experience has ended. And then lastly, ideally you get a foot in the door for potential jobs and internships, whether it be at that company or maybe somebody within that network knows somebody else that's hiring that can get you in with there too. And one thing that's not really listed on here, but it kind of comes with that real world career knowledge and experience. And I always like to point out that even if you get paired with a company that you find out in the end, I realize that throughout this process, this isn't really the career that I want to do. That's okay. And that's also part of the point of this entire program, is to not only kind of help you realize the careers that you do want to do, but also to help you realize the ones that you might not want to. And so the whole benefit of doing an externship, networking, job shadowing program is that you get these kind of bite-sized pieces of knowledge without making that very long-term commitment of a full-time job or a longer internship. And you get to know these things much faster, what you like about the culture of a certain company, what you like about a specific job or about a specific employer. And so these are just all really great kind of offsets from this program that I don't think many students realize when they go into it, that, oh, even if I didn't love the experience that I had, that means I still learned something great about that company or about the future career that I want to go into. And now the part that everyone has probably been waiting for is the how to apply. So our applications are on our brand new beautiful website that I will take you to in just a minute. So you will go to our website, go to the experiential programs tab, And then from there, you'll find the externship program tab. And I will show you exactly how to get there in just a minute. From there, there will be a student application form. You'll click on that. And when you fill out that form, it's important that you know your availability throughout the semester. So basically, letting us know what days, if you have specific days in mind, if you know, oh, I have a part-time job and I work on the weekends, or I work specific days during the week, then those are important things for us to know when we are pairing you with specific different employers. And then one of the biggest things is, a lot of you already did this, so knowing the industry or the company that you're interested in. So like I said, we will not have the specific companies that we are partnered with right now on that application because they will be changing almost daily. So it'll be really important for you to be able to tell us exactly, what type of industry that you're interested in, or what type of specific career. Like I saw on the thing, I didn't know, I don't know what specific company I want to work with, but I want to do something in, mechanical engineering. That's great for us to know on that application, so that we know if we have an employer that's specifically looking for students interested in mechanical engineering, then we can do that. Additionally, if you know specifically what companies you might want to work with or network with, we can try to reach out to specific companies to get opportunities for students as well. So that information is equally as important. So we really stress that, you take a few minutes to think about what sort of industries that you want to work in, what companies you might want to work for, doing a little bit of research. The previous 10 companies that we've worked with are on our website as well. And a lot of them are continuing their sponsorship through the fall semester. So if you are specifically interested in any of those, feel free to put them down as well. And the last part of that is to have your resume ready. We will be asking for the most recent copy, updated copy of your resume as part of that application. So it will be important that you kind of have that resume where you want it. And I will talk over some of our Career Center resume resources here in a second. But I do want to show you how to specifically get to this application. So this is our website, and you'll have to forgive us for being very excited about it. This is a new version of our website that just kind of came out this week, and we are really excited about the way that it looks. So I'm happy to show it off right now. So this is our University Career Center main page that you will come to. You will go up to the Experiential Programs tab, and then down to Externship Program. And also feel free to check out anything else on the webpage while you're here as well. But a lot of the information that I've provided is right here on the page, along with some of our important dates. So this information session, our next one, and when our week-long programs are, as well as our 2 ongoing programs. And then here is where you will find that student application. So you'll just go here, click on that, and fill out the Qualtrics form from there. And like I said, our previous 10 sponsors that we had, so the ones that participated over the summer, are the ones that are listed on the screen. So if you're really interested in specifically any of these employers, let us know. Many of them are continuing on their sponsorship into the fall, so they might already be on our list, but we still want to know, specifically which ones you might be interested in. So feel free to do a little digging and some research on these employers as well. Okay. And so like I said, there are a couple of great resume resources that we have here at the Career Center. So currently enrolled students and all of our registered alumni may receive assistance on their resume in 2 different ways. So you can email your resume to resumeeditor@utdallas.edu. This process may be a little bit slower because they tend to get a lot of these emails and a lot that they need to update. So just know it can take up to 5 business days to do that process. You can also schedule an appointment with one of our Career Center professionals, whether that be my team, whether that be the specific career consultant that is assigned to your school. You can meet with any of these people to talk over your resume specifically in regard to this opportunity. So just be sure that you'll send or bring your resume to that appointment. All of our appointments are virtual right now, and all of them can be scheduled through Handshake. So whether, like I said, whether that's meeting with our team specifically or meeting with your individual career consultant. All of those appointments can be made online. And I really do encourage everyone to take advantage of these different resume editors while you have the capability to use them, because it's a really, really great resource to have at your disposal at this time. Okay, so at this time, Amy, do we have some questions?
We do. We just have a few. We have a freshman wondering if they are eligible to participate, or what you recommend for them to do if not.
Yeah, so unfortunately, freshmen are not eligible to participate. We are looking for sophomores and above. Some of our freshmen, we know they'll come in with maybe transfer credits or something like that. So if you do have any sort of transfer credits that put you kind of above that 30 credit limit, I would, including this semester, I would maybe wait till our next one in our next rolling program in the spring, or taking advantage of the spring break 1 week option, and then we will do another week-long summer option as well. Individually, like outside of this program for freshmen in general, I do suggest a lot of the things that we implement in this program don't absolutely have to be done through a program like this. Something like an informational interview, reaching out and connecting with employers, that can be done on an independent basis. It is a little bit more difficult when you don't have somebody kind of setting that up for you. But I definitely would say at this time specifically, if you aren't eligible to participate in this program, that you still kind of consider doing some of these other things to kind of boost your career potential and to get information about different careers. And like I was talking about at the end with making appointments for your resume specifically, we have a lot of different appointment types that you can make, either with whether that be with the experiential programs team or with your individual career consultant. You can make appointments, kind of on career exploration, on internship exploration, your job and internship search, things of this nature. So I would really recommend kind of reaching out to the Career Center in that way. And on the next screen, I will be putting up a lot of the upcoming events that we have too. So definitely checking out the upcoming events that we have and programs that we have that are specifically targeted to kind of the younger population of students, freshmen, early sophomores, and kind of how they can get a leg up in their career. So hopefully that helps.
Thanks, Kayla. We have actually an alumni on the call, wondering, since they aren't eligible, how could they get involved, or what do you recommend regarding, them getting involved in EWOW?
Yeah, so unfortunately, alumni specifically wouldn't be eligible. It is for current students. If alumni specifically have connections that they want to use or kind of help us out with, we always encourage getting those. Alumni also can still make appointments with the Career Center for help on things like that as well. So I would definitely recommend making those types of appointments with people who specifically work with our alumni, and reaching out to our alumni center as well to find out what sort of events they have. But if we have any alumni that are on the call that are specifically actually working with a company right now, and want to kind of help out in that way, I'll put up our contact information on the next screen, or 2 screens, and you guys can always reach out, and we can figure out a way that you can help out in that way as well, on the employer side.
Thanks. And then can you take more than one externship during a semester with this rolling program?
Yes. So we are going to limit it to 2. So many times, and if you've taken an opportunity during one of our week-long programs, some students do get paired with more than one opportunity. And a lot of the times that just kind of has to, if they're kind of in between things that they want within their career, or if there's 2 opportunities that seem like a really great fit, then we might pair one student with 2 different companies. 2 would be the max for this rolling program within a semester, and we will, before we give a student a second opportunity, we would try to get as many students paired as possible. So I wouldn't say that it's going to be 100% guaranteed that you'll get 2 experiences, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities that you get to network with 2 different companies during this opportunity.
Thank you. Looks like I have one more question. Any opportunities so far with employers for accounting, finance, or human resources?
I'll have to check. Like I said, we're getting new employers every day. Normally, those employers are ones that are on our list, though, kind of on the business side. So we usually don't have any issues getting employers from them. You probably saw on the one side, Standish Management is often a company. We've partnered with them several times. I don't know if they're on the list for fall, but if we do have accounting students that are specifically interested in that field, that's a great company. So I would definitely encourage you to apply so that we can try to make that connection. Was that the last question?
Yes, thank you.
So it looks like we only have about 3 minutes left, so I'll give you all back those 3 minutes. Again, if you have any questions regarding this program, our future programs, or any of our events, please let us know. Our contact information is up on the screen, and there's a lot more information on our website as well. So thank you all for attending today. Please reach out with any of those questions that might pop up afterwards, and we will be happy to answer. And that, like I said, the application is live right now, so feel free to go over there and check it out and see what you'll need to prepare for submitting that application, and we will start taking them basically right after this. So thank you all for attending today. I hope you guys have a great day.